The views expressed by our guests in the following video are solely the opinions of our guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and or opinions of the Ola 7 podcast show. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Genius Kids. My name is Sophia, and today I would call this a special episode, if you will, because we're going to be interviewing the Junior Mayor of Harare. Doesn't that sound great? Okay, so would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Mzumara. I am the 71st Junior Mayor of the City of Harare and outgoing. This is my last year.
That sounds nice. Okay, so what has this whole title meant to you?
Yes. So at first, the title, it was something that it's a real moment, right? That at this age, you already have a title and it's being embraced by those who have given you the title. But then more importantly, the title seems like it's a label that you're now a champion for change and development for your own community, right? And in this case, for the youth.
All right. And so are there any qualifications you need to become the Junior Mayor?
Yes. So for Junior Mayor, they're looking for leadership, right? And I think that is the same thing all around Zimbabwe. But then specifically for Harare, our Junior Mayor has to be in the Form 5 stage. You first do your training, Form 5, then your elections end or towards the end of Form 5, then Form 6, right? You serve your term, whatnot, then the whole cycle again repeats again for the next generation.
So what was the training like?
So the training was intense, right? And we started towards last year around early May, right? And we started about 500 shortlisted people. So then you first have to be trained. They'll train you what a leader is, what is expected of you, what is the Harare City Junior Council, what are you supposed to do as a leader, right? Then as training goes, they then have their final assessments and they end up with their 55 junior councillors, right? So then through the whole training, you've learned about leadership, bonding with your community, and so forth.
All right. I hear you're in upper 6, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so what subjects did you choose?
I chose English literature, biblical studies, and history.
And what made you choose them?
Yes. So I do want to pursue a bachelor's of laws, right, in my tertiary education. So then those subjects do strongly align for me to be able to pursue that degree.
All right then. Okay, so how has studying literature shaped the way you see the world?
Yes. So literature has helped, I think, throughout my whole life or different aspects of my life, but then also as my role, right? As a leadership role, because you learn the ability to critically analyze situations, right? You're able to get maybe a sixth sense of what you're supposed to do, that what can this opportunity entail for not just you, but for your community or whatnot. So you have that ability to now fully critically analyze any situation, and it then helps you throughout all different aspects of your life.
Okay, so you chose history as one of your subjects, right?
Yes, I did.
So how do you actually think you're going to apply this? Like, are you going to learn from the past and then apply that to the present? Or is it just a subject as well?
So then there's a strong African historical figure called Gabriel Okara, and he talks about how we can't move to the future, nor can we go past any obstacle, right, without remembering the past. And the past is supposed to guide us, right?
Okay, and from all the subjects, which one do you find the most challenging?
The most challenging is perhaps English literature, right? Because it does require a lot of critical thinking. You're supposed to be able to deduce and infer a lot of complex ideas from a limited extract or a limited set text, right? So then there's a lot of thinking, there's a lot of critically analyzing.
You know, if we had a bet, I would honestly bet like $100 that you choose English. Okay, and which subject would you find the easiest?
Perhaps I'm tied for that. I'm tied with history and biblical studies, right? Because those are both extremely content-heavy subjects. They do require you to truly be addicted to your books, right? To constantly reading, so forth, right? But then I would say perhaps for me, it would be history.
Okay. And how do you balance all these different things? Schoolwork, and then there's also home life and being the junior mayor.
Yes. So then you do need to set your priority state, right? That what are these aspects that are most important, that develop you the most, right? Then you set them as priority number 1, right? So then you can even get a piece of paper and just write it down that these are my priorities, this is number 1 until the end. Then you can say that throughout my week or just specifically throughout your day, what are you doing at this specific time, then you have to have the consistency and dedication to follow through with all your priorities.
Okay. What if you realize that like you don't have the dedication or the motivation to do these things? Will the whole plan completely fail, or will it still work somehow?
I feel like it won't go as planned, but then life doesn't fully have its own formula. So then there are ways for you to truly then get yourself back on track. Right? There are ways that you can then try to recover and make sure that at the end of the day you have done all that you need to do.
Okay. So what does academic excellence mean to you beyond just getting good grades?
So academic excellence, I feel like it refers to the ability to be okay, let me not say excellent, sorry. It refers to the ability of being exceptional regularly, right? Not just one test and you get an A star. It's about maybe 5 tests and you're consistently getting A grades, consistently getting B grades, getting whichever grade that you fully feel you're able to achieve, and that's a solid pass.
I honestly hope that you guys are listening, because this would really be helpful. Okay, so do you feel like schools should focus more on teaching children for the real life? Because a lot of kids often say things like, I want to know what I'm going to do in the future, not like what I'm doing in algebra. So what would you say about that? Would you say schools should focus more on the real life, like on the real world outside, or it's okay to focus on exams?
I feel that currently the school system does do that. It does focus on your future and now, right? It is practical in all aspects, right? Perhaps you might argue on the practicality, but then I feel that all subjects are practical with your future, whether it is like a mathematics, like you said, right? Algebra can help you solve unknowns, because if you do then pursue any career that needs that ability, you have learned it at your mathematics classrooms, you have learned it at any educational center you went to that taught you those skills, that taught you that subject.
So it mostly depends on the way you apply it, not on the way that you want to like actually apply it. Like you actually need to focus on, okay, I can take this lesson and put it here. Not this lesson isn't going to help me in the future.
Yes, it's about how you apply it and truly embracing all your subjects.
Okay, so apart from academics, what sports are you in?
So I'm well-rounded, right? I do experience different type of sporting codes, but then I think my most favorite or most active is hockey, field hockey.
Okay, sounds good. What other sports do you like? Not that you necessarily have to play them, but just that you like to watch or just to be in.
I'll then put to that list, I'll put cricket, swimming, and basketball.
Those seem like a good option. Okay, so how did it feel to be selected for the Harare Provincial Under-19's men team?
So then it's a surreal feeling, right? Because I remember the day when they're selecting, they're doing it by school. For example, this certain school, so-and-so made it. So then my name was the last because our school was the last to be announced. So then it was really a frightful feeling because they've gone through all these schools, right? And my name is not yet there, right? So you have this feeling that perhaps I'm not going to make it. But then they finally finished the list and my name was the last name, right? It was really a frightful moment, but then relieving at the end.
To be honest, that would never happen to me because my last name begins with B, so I'm always one of the first, if not the first. Okay, so how do you handle moments of defeat or disappointment? Like, let's say things didn't go as planned. It could be in sports or academics.
So I feel that failure is truly a part of success because I feel that if you fail so many times, you learn better ways of succeeding. That if you have failed, maybe in sports, if you have failed to do a certain skill, if you fail again and again and again, you truly then understand how to not fail, how to succeed. That I should not do this and I should not do that for me to truly succeed in performing this skill.
Okay, it's good that you actually are able to accept failure instead of pushing it away. Good to learn from your own mistakes. Okay, so do you see sports just as competition or as a tool to build your community and your teamwork or just as something to also get you higher?
So sport, I feel like it's somewhere you can express yourself. Because sport is freeing, it's liberating, but then it's also somewhere that you can truly express that this is how I feel, this is what I want to pursue. I'm someone, perhaps if you think you're someone who likes excellence, right? You can show it, you can express it on the sporting field, right? But then also it is something that you can build your community. Many communities get built, they get assisted through sport.
All right. So in the topic of like culture and creativity, where do you see yourself? Like, what do you do in being creative? Because for us, we've got things like arts and craft. For example, my practical is art. So that's another form of creativity. But what about for you?
Yes. So since I do literature, I now appreciate more of literal texts, right? Whether it's poems, whether it's novels, whether it's the whole thing, the whole genre. But then I feel like I've started to be more of poetic writing because it's someone that you can write your ideas, write your feelings, write any type of belief that you truly have. Right? Maybe if you're feeling joyful, you say it in your poem that I'm feeling joyful, and you find perhaps even a rhyming scheme, so forth. So then I would say poetry is now my creative thing.
Okay, so you also spoke about novels and reading text. So what books do you read?
So since I do literature, I do read a lot of books, right? But then I've also started to read outside academic books, that I read my set texts, right? But then also I read personal books. For example, you have many texts. I feel like I prefer the texts that focus on moral development, right? Like that books written by leaders, written by people who have truly shaped communities. And they talk about their whole journey. They talk about what shaped them. And they focus on moral aspects, saying that it's because of this and this and this that I truly was able to achieve this. Right, so that you can truly learn something from it. Those are books that when you're done reading, you know that you've taken something away from it.
Honestly, I'm really happy that I found someone else who likes to read in their free time. For me, I usually read like fantasy books, like Harry Potter, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, those kind of things. So do you enjoy Harry Potter?
Yes, I do. I think I've read a couple, right? And I think I also watched the movie series.
You should read the full series. It's really good, trust me. Okay, so do you think reading is still valued these days or not really? Because it's quite hard to find someone who actually reads when they're happy.
So reading, I feel like it attributes to long learning, right? That learning doesn't end in the classroom. So then when you're reading, you're gaining more knowledge, right? It doesn't even have to be something prescribed. You can feel that perhaps there's a certain skill that you want to acquire. And I think there's many books about certain different skills. You can truly learn about how to do that specific action or whatnot. And it's something that shapes you, who you are, right? So then reading is important.
Okay, so from all of these things you've spoken about in culture and creativity, how can a young person actually apply this into their lives and feel their lives actually change for the better?
Yes. So for culture, you can express yourself, but when you express yourself, you can truly now self-reflect, right? Because sometimes you might be feeling some way, but you don't know how you're feeling. You're failing to truly understand it, right? And you might even now end up misconceiving it, that you think it's this certain feeling, but it's not, right? So then when you write down, when you express yourself in your whatever creative action you're doing, right, you can then reflect that this shows that I'm feeling like this. And you can even then seek help or talk to anyone so you can have a better understanding that how can I progress from this?
Okay, so earlier on you spoke about books. Which books have actually influenced you? Maybe the title for someone else out there who wants to know.
So the book I think that is my favorite, that has really influenced me is The One Thing, right? Because The One Thing focuses on reading, right? Focuses on the ability of long learning, right? But then most importantly, The One Thing truly wants you to learn that you don't have to do many aspects or many actions for you to be great, right? You just need to do one thing, like as the title says, but then be exceptional at it, right? That fully master that action, fully master what you want to learn. Then you can be truly successful.
Okay, so how do you think the arts have actually influenced one's mental health?
Like I said, I think the whole expression thing, but then also arts is somewhere you can connect with people, right? Because it's fun to then connect with people who have a similar mindset, right? Because you can understand each other fully, whatnot. And art does that. It brings people closer together, right? Whether it's music, whether it's drawing, whether it's dancing, whether it's any performing art, maybe you like doing marimba, right? And that's something that is truly artistic. Then you meet other marimba players or just other marimba enthusiasts. Then you get together, you form friends, you form more communities, right? So then art does bring people closer together.
Okay, so since we're talking about creativity, what do you do in your free time?
Yes. So I don't have a lot of free time, right? That's the sad part. But then when I do, I read, right? If I'm not reading, I try to play outside, right? Play outside, maybe I'm just practicing some basketball, whether I'm practicing some hockey or whatnot, right? But then that whole physical action is just something that is relaxing, right? Something that I truly find as a recreational outlet for myself, right? That I can truly use to, whether I'm feeling down, it makes you happy, whether you're feeling sad, whether you're feeling even happy, right? So then it's something that I truly believe is what I do whenever I'm free, right? Yes.
Okay, so do you actually have weekends? Like you said, you're really busy, right? So you get to actually use your Saturdays well.
Yes, I try to guard my Saturdays, right? But then when duty calls, you have to answer. So then my Saturdays, I truly try to squeeze in everything, right? Whether it's academics, whether it's sports, whether it's any duty that I must attend to. I try to squeeze it on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, so what has been, how did being the junior mayor actually change your responsibilities? Maybe not necessarily change, but like how's it influenced the way you see things, the way you take care of issues and solve problems?
So being junior mayor, it's a whole different world, right? It's more expectations, right? And more duties for you to perform. And you have the responsibility to take up the role and fully provide any decisions, provide leadership, right? Provide assistance where it's needed. So you have that responsibility. And for me, the responsibility has taught me that the impact of our actions is truly something that you cannot ignore, right? You can't go living blindly thinking that if I do this, it won't really affect me. Because some things won't affect you, but can affect your communities, right? So then it has taught me about the importance of my actions, the importance of anyone's action.
Okay, so apparently you launched a water festival recently?
Yes, I think that was towards the beginning of the year.
Okay.
Last year.
Okay, so what exactly made you feel like mental health was important when considering it?
So we saw the impacts we have, right? There's depression, there's the many things, right? And we truly want to help because remember, we're there to help our peers. So we're there to help each other to face any challenges we're facing, right? So we saw that mental health is one of the problems that is being addressed, right? But can also be helped to be addressed to wider audiences so that we have a full aggressive campaign to help people with their mental health. So then we had the event so that we could truly tell people that you're not wrong for feeling sad. You're not wrong for feeling any type of emotion, right? But then there are ways for you to guide your emotions because you don't want to be then in an over-emotional stage in which you truly don't know how to guide the rest of your life because you've done this out of that emotion.
Okay. So what was the most rewarding moment during the Christmas Duel campaign?
Yes. So the Christmas Duel, it was, yes, we donated, but we wanted to do something more, right? So we donated, brought food, brought many different necessities, right? Because we're trying to promote the Christmas joy, the Christmas spirit, right? So then in doing this, we truly wanted then to do something above and beyond. So the main plan was for us to have a braai, right? Us at the braai with the kids, truly have a joyous time there, right? Get to make some new friends, whatnot. But then the weather wasn't on our side. I think it was almost about to rain, so forth. So we ended up doing a few activities outside. Then we did inside games.
All right. At least you came up with something else to do, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So about the Harare Career Guidance Day, how do you think that's changed the way youth view their future?
Yes. I think that it has really helped many youth. We did get a considerable number of youth there, and we had many companies coming up from law firms to clinics to different organizations, and it really helped the youth who were present. And I feel like even the youth who can read about it, right, can get a better understanding that if you want to pursue this degree, you need so and so requirements, right? So then you have a more focused youth because they'll know that if I want to become, let me say a lawyer, I need this, this, and this, right? So you have a more focused approach. And I feel like it promotes development because people know where they're going.
Okay. So being the junior mayor and all, what was the hardest obstacle, like the biggest issue, and how did you actually overcome it?
Yes. So the biggest issue is miscalculated events, right? In that because when I feel like when you start, you have this, let me say, uninformed optimism, right? You're just so happy knowing that this event's gonna go perfect, whatnot. But then there'll happen certain events that you never calculated for. Perhaps the venue you wanted, something is now taking place over your venue, over your event. So now you have to postpone, suspend, or even sometimes cancel an event, right? So that's been the biggest challenge.
Okay, and how did you overcome this one?
So we thought about now having a more aggressive way of handling because we couldn't just then say that we want this event, then fold our hands after planning. We had to make sure that each and every moment, each and every day, we're following up to make sure that if there's any or even the slightest disturbance, we are ready for us to have a backup plan, right? So that in case I say that this venue can no more host us, we now have a different venue.
Okay, so you actually make sure that there's always a plan B.
Yes.
Okay, and what about the easiest obstacles, like things that were barely a problem, but you still had to face them?
So you could deal with, since you're a team leader, right? You could deal with unmotivated, right? Like, as in the people you're in your team, they were motivated, but then because of certain situations have become demotivated, right? So then you truly then have to talk to them, inspire them, get to have a better understanding of why they're not feeling this way. So when they become demotivated, you can truly then see that this is going to be a problem, right? Because you can't then do an event on your own. Remember, we're a team effort. We're trying to do this all together. We are a council, right? Or even just any team in general, right? So then you have to truly inspire them, especially if you are the leader. You have that responsibility to inspire the people who are in your team, to inspire anyone, to make sure that you have the same motivation, right? Or even more. They can even have more, or just truly exceptional levels of motivation that they're truly involved, right? Mentally, physically, emotionally, in whatever you're planning, whichever project, task, objective.
Okay, so what are some of the best points about being in a team, like something you can really be grateful for?
Yes, it's the way they support you, right? For example, you can make a situation that is so unrealistic, right? For example, maybe you're planning, then you say we're gonna have this. Then they're there to say, oh, but wait, yeah, you've forgotten about this certain aspect, right? You should take a look at that. You should remember that this and this might happen. So then you have that second voice of helping you, right? And you have someone there to actually advise you that this is a good idea, but you have to do this, or this is an idea that is lacking some certain aspect, right? So then you do have the benefit of being together with a team, that they're supporting you, helping you, truly helping the idea come out well.
Okay, so since you're also in a team, how does leadership actually help you? Like, how do you lead your team? How do they always back you up? Just explain that.
So leading in a team, right? Perhaps what differentiates a leader is the ability to make decisions, because they're making decisions for yourself and for your team, or in some areas for your whole community, right? So then when you are with a team, you truly want to be making decisions that are right? That are just, that are fair, that are moral for everyone, right? So when you do those decisions, right, you then have to relay them to your team, and you give them time for them to give you feedback. They'll feel like maybe this decision should not be like this. Perhaps it should be changed or slightly altered, or maybe even completely removed, right? And since you're in a team, you then hear them out and you say, okay, guys, you think that we should change this, that we should try and do it in this way, then you take up that suggestion, take up that innovation.
Okay, so what does servant leadership mean to you?
I feel like it's the most ideal leadership, in which you're moving with the community. It's not you, then the community. It's you and the community, like you and the community together, right? So then it's really something that shows that you're not there to be served. You're there to serve the community, right? That you're not looking out for your own interests. You're looking out for the interests of everyone in your team, everyone following you, the whole community.
Okay, so being the junior mayor, does that count as like volunteerism?
Yes, in a way it does, right? Because we all volunteered at the beginning of Form 5 that we want to be leaders of the youth, to be leaders of our community. Right? We all volunteered, then we did our training and whatnot.
Okay, so how's volunteerism shaped the outlook of your life?
Yes, it shows that you can get so much, right, from just volunteering. Even if at the beginning you're not being offered anything, perhaps they'll say that you're volunteering, you're not getting so and so benefits, right? But then you truly see that you gain something. Like from volunteering to be in junior council, you gain so much training of leadership. So you have gotten something out of it just by volunteering.
Okay, and so working with underprivileged communities, what's the biggest lesson you've learned?
Is that humankind are not separated by race, nationality, or any segregation. We are all one, right? And some may just be fortunate or some unfortunate, but then that doesn't separate us, right? So it shows that we are just one, we are one people, we are all maybe one big family.
Okay, so how can the young leaders in Zimbabwe better support each other?
Yes. So there need to be more dialogue, right? There is dialogue and it's been increasing, but we also wanted to have an aggressive approach to increasing, that we have regular discussions, right? Not just for my council, but for the council that follow. Regular discussions where people share ideas. For example, there might be another junior mayor, let me say from another city in Zimbabwe, right? We have certain big ideas, right? And if you have a dialogue, you can truly then shape both your cities because you have a dialogue, you give each other feedback, you give each other inspiration, right? They can truly then benefit both of your communities.
Okay, so in the future, do you see yourself actually still going forward in leadership?
I truly hope, because I feel like leadership is something that you truly use everywhere you're going, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's in a sporting team or any organization. So I feel that I have the goal or the inspiration to truly continue being a leader in any aspect or in any area I'm in.
All right then. And if you could design one national event in Zimbabwe, what would it focus on?
So there's an event I wanted to do, but then we didn't have the time, right? Because it does require a lot of planning, perhaps even a whole year before planning. It was for a talent awareness, right? Because we believe that Zimbabwe or Harare, right? But then the whole of Zimbabwe is talented. We just want to show that talent more, right? And there have been so many engagements that are doing that. You have so many concerts, so many displays, so many exhibitions, but then we could also do more exhibitions. We could also do more concerts that just truly show that Zimbabwe's youth are talented.
Okay, and since you're actually a form of a leader, do you think that young people should wait until they're actual grown-ups or until they're at a more mature age to become leaders? Or do you think they should just start whenever they can?
You should start wherever you can. Because leaders are not born, leaders are made, right? Whichever situation, it might be pleasant, it might be unpleasant, but then a leader is made, not born. And a leader is not restricted to an age, right? You can go to any group, you can go to any organization, right? You can see young, you can see old, you can see all leaders of all ages. Because leadership isn't about how old you are, right? It's about, can you lead? Can you move a group forward?
Okay, so then there's also the difference of someone being around, let's say, 80 years old and still being a leader, and then let's say there's you. Would you say that the experience is actually help them to move forward, or do you think that age doesn't actually matter and you could still be just as good as the 80-year-old, or the 80-year-old could be just as good as you?
So I feel that it depends on the individual, right? Because we need to look past all the factors of this person is older. You need to look at that. How well have they performed, right? But age does help in the sense that they have more life experience, right? So some aspects that you haven't fully encountered yet, they would have encountered and they can help you, right? So then you can truly then see that leadership is about the individual, but then there are aspects that you need to try and take note of. For example, age.
Okay. So if you had the chance to speak to all of the world leaders, what would you say to represent the Zimbabwe's youth?
That Zimbabwe's youth are ambitious, right? And other than just being ambitious, we truly have the qualities, the capabilities for us to perform any type of action, whether it's develop ourselves, whether it's inspire ourselves, but then we just need more support. But we are getting support, but there can always be more different initiatives, whatnot, right? So then Zimbabwe's youth are ambitious, we are driven, we are dedicated, right?
Okay, so you mentioned support. Support in what area specifically?
Yes. So currently youth do get support, right? And the youth can continue getting support, and ideally the youth can get more support in the sense that if the youth have maybe one event each month, right? You can turn that into 3, into 4, because it's not really about just that have had the event. It's about what happened at that event, right? And if they have more events, they have more opportunities to make a difference.
Okay. So 10 years from now, when you look back, what legacy do you want to have built for yourself?
Yes. I truly want to be able to just reflect on my life that far and say that I've done this and this, that I set this goal, I set this objective, and I truly achieved it, right?
Okay, so back then, let's say when you were about 5 years old, did you actually see yourself at this position now?
I didn't. The ambition to become a leader, right, came around the beginning of high school, I think, right? Or some people can say that you always see that your interests may originate when you even are a toddler, right? But then clearly for mine, we're beginning of high school. So then at 5 years old, I didn't see this ambition of leadership or whatnot.
Okay. And what did your parents say about this when they noticed that you wanted to become a leader?
Yes, they're welcoming because my parents in their own capacities are also leaders, right? So then they welcomed it, they appreciate it, right? They appreciate how it's going to be impactful for not just ourselves, right? For our families, for our communities, for the whole international community.
Okay, so do you have siblings?
Yes, I do. I have 2 siblings.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, and how did they react when they found out?
They were also appreciative because I'm the youngest born, right?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so then they're older than me, so they're appreciative of it, right? They offered guidance because they have been through the system that I'm following through in. Right? So they can offer you guidance and say that perhaps they did this and this, but then a better way for you to do that is this way. So then you have reduced mistakes. You have a clearer journey because they have truly helped you and guided you. So then it does help in the sense that when they found out, they embraced it. They said, oh, our little brother wants to become a leader. That's good. That's positive. Let's help him. Let's tell him what we know.
Okay, so in general, like in your class and in your school, how do people view you as a leader?
So firstly, as a leader and people who are the same age as you, right, there's that criticism because you are the same age, right? But then when they look past it and they see that, but this person, this individual has the abilities of a leader, and this individual is bringing us somewhere, is progressing with us, because I believe a leader should always progress. So in the classroom, they'll notice that you are progressing in the classroom, whether it's the classroom has been given a task, maybe your class is leading assembly, or your class is supposed to perform maybe even a short poem or a short drama, right? Then you lead that, okay, guys, let's do this and this and this. And they see you that this person in our class, although at the same age, has truly been able to lead us forward.
Okay, and apart from being the junior mayor, I guess leadership also counts as a form of a talent. What other things are you good at?
I'm good at many things, but I feel like I'm most good at drawing, right? I do try and draw. I'm good at creative writing, whether it's poems, right? And I feel like I'm try to be good at having fair and just communication with people, right?
Okay, so when you say you're good at drawing, do you actually mean you're good at drawing, or are you one of those people who just like doodle and think it's perfect?
So I feel like when it comes to drawing, I'm able to clearly express what I'm seeing in my mind, in my vision, right? That if I'm seeing maybe an elephant that's golden and has bronze feet, I'm able to truly show that anyone who's walking by can appreciate that this is a direct image of what was being thought of.
Okay, so to all the other young leaders out there, what message would you have for them?
So the message is that history is shaped by underdogs. And as underdogs, it's our responsibility to take up the whole journey, to take up the whole adventure and truly develop ourselves, our families, and our communities.
Okay, and now for my last question. If someone were to give you $1 million, what would you do with it?
To be fair, I don't think I need that much. But then for 1 million, I think you make sure that you develop yourself, you develop your community, whether it's buying a house, whether it's buying a car, then the rest you also develop your community, whether your community needs a new borehole, right? Whether your community needs perhaps a just small recreational center, you can truly then help them with it. So then with the 1 million, I think I'll develop myself and my community.
That's really nice, like actually very thoughtful, because I never ask my siblings that question. It's usually, first I get myself a pink car, then I get myself a golden one. Okay, so thank you so much for the interview. It was His Worship, the Junior Mayor of the City of Harare, Solomon Mzumara, right?
Yes.
All right, that's quite a long title. It's a good one, though. Okay, so I think it was a great interview. In my opinion, it went great. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, I'll see you guys.